Shop organization, getting things off the floor so you have useful areas to put things. All stuff that we all love to do and hate to do at the same time. My shop is not clean. I try, but realistically, especially with air hoses, what happens is I reel them up or I just throw them back in the corner. They get walked on, they're dirty, you pull them out next time to use them. It's just a bad habit that I have of not organizing or hanging it on the wall. I'm gonna take care of that with this Jamec Pem air hose reel. I'm gonna show you why I chose this one to go over, and I think you're really gonna like it. Stay tuned. So out of all the hose reels on the market, why Jamec Pem? Flat out, I like the hose. It's rated for 300 PSI and it is their Ultraflex hose. Now this is their Pro 20X model, it's 20 meters, but what it has is a hose that is super flexible and not prone to kinking. And in fact, it'll stay flexible when it's cold and it'll act a little bit better once it has some air pressure on the inside. You do have brass fittings in the end with 1/4 inch NPT threads. Love that they're actually brass. That's a step up for me. This is a 6-foot lead hose to the reel. This hose too, same exact stuff. It is, again, amazing. The hose reel is also just about as amazing, and I want to go through that, but what I need to do is realistically bring you in to see most of this stuff. We'll go over the stop, the spring, and all that stuff on the inside, so let's come in and take a look at it. This hose reel is pretty slick, and again, it's housing that awesome hose that I like, but the hose reel itself has some great features. We're gonna get inside here. You can adjust the spring tension, so basically you can loosen it up if you're going to have this hose hanging from the ceiling or hanging from different areas. Also, this stop that's here is completely adjustable, and it's super simple to just put on and take off. That's it, and it can go anywhere in the hose. What's going to hold this hose up is going to be this mounting bracket here. We're going to screw this guy up against the wall. It's going to slide up into place, and it's going to allow this hose reel to sit, and it's sitting in a straightforward position now. So if it changes and turns, it's going to end up pushing this guy via gravity back into the 90-degree position or straight out position. If you want to mount it off to the side, you just pull this guy down, turn it to the side, and then it will allow that unit to sit in the side like this, but always come back to that more stored up against the wall position. So you do have some options there. What really brought me to this as far as a hose reel was this guide. I apologize, this is going to be a little bit noisy. We'll do this more once we get it up against the wall. But you can see that this guide is moving. So once we bring this guy in at a very controlled pace, it's going to nicely wind that hose up so that we don't get tangles when we're pulling it out. That was a big selling point to me. I know some of them do it, some of them don't. Some of them just whip that hose in there and then you end up with this big bind. But this is more to me like a good quality fishing reel where it's just bringing that line back and forth, giving you a nice, not tangled situation on the inside. Let's get a screwdriver out and pop this open. If we just take a screwdriver, stick it in here, we can pull this side panel off, and it shows us our hose coil tensioner. So this is basically a spring. You don't want to make it too tight, and you don't want to have it too loose, so you can adjust this over time, but just make sure you don't over tighten it because it won't allow you to take the hose all the way out, or you'll break the spring, one or the other. Either way, you just simply tighten or loosen this based on what you need. This is not something we're going to mess with at this point in time. I want to get this mounted on the wall, but it's nice to have that ability, and it's nice to be able to adjust per your needs. We have our mounting bracket on the wall. I just use wood screws to put it in. It is in one stud. I think that's going to be good enough. We'll just put our cotter pin in the bottom. That will hold it on. This thing, it can swivel. On the location I have it in, it's not going to be needed to swivel at all. But basically our 6-foot lead can be put around the compressor, but for now, we are plugged in, set and ready to go. With this guy plugged in, let's put a little less than 150 PSI in there. Let's test this guy out. That is the end. You can see they put a little yellow line here. So if we want to bring this in, pull. It got caught on a tire, that's why it stopped. But it's very controllable, easy in. And again, if I would like that to go in further, just take this clamp off, move it to the end. We're set. Now I don't have this mess of hose on the floor. And as you can see here, this is an older hose and it does have a tendency to kink, but I can get rid of this. And this guy will open up more floor space for me, reduce tripping hazards, keep things cleaner and a lot better looking, keeps me more organized, and it's easy to use. And something like this that's easy to use will get used more often. Some of the things I didn't think about while purchasing this is that it's actually very easy to take off the wall. So if I wanted to use it in a different area on a different compressor, I could. I like that fact that I didn't just lose a hose that can travel around with me. I could actually just pick this guy up, take it with me in the truck or anywhere I want with a portable compressor and use it. I think that that part is also cool since it doesn't dedicate it to one area. Realistically, you could use this with anything. And I know a lot of you guys out there going, man, I just use batteries for everything, but you can't essentially fill up a lot of larger tires with some of the inflators that are out there. So for me, I still need an air compressor, not only for the tires, but also I need a large one to operate the jacks that are on this hoist or lift behind me. So I use it quite often. 60 feet is well more than what I need. In fact, it's 10 foot longer than the hose that's currently sitting on the floor. So I think that's absolutely perfect. I would buy this thing 10 times again. Now they also make a hose reel, like water hose, garden hose style. That's something I'm very interested in. I'm sure it's a lot more weight. I wanted to start here because this is something to me of putting it on the wall, organizing. My garden hose reel in our wash bay is also something that is either just left out because there's no real reason to put it away or using it again, or it just is always in the way. So that might be the next thing that I go to, but organization in your shop is super important. It helps out in many ways, keeps you safe. This is definitely something to look at, just not only for the organization, but also for the quality of the hose that you're getting. Definitely take a look at it. I'll leave some links in the description. Leave me your comments below. Do you use an air compressor in your shop? I know you might not use air tools, but do you even have an air compressor in your shop anymore? I appreciate the feedback on that. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a great day.